Hi, this is Heidi, episode 52, The Easy or the Hard Way. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Well, hello. I really am glad that you are here. Happy summer of 2020. How are you holding up? You may or may not know at the beginning of the school year what your kids are going to do. You may or may not know what your work schedule is going to look like, how you're going to have to adjust. Usually at this time of the year, we're eagerly anticipating the start of fall sports, practices, and that looks very different or is being postponed right now. Many of my friends are taking freshmen to college, hoping and praying that they can get that on-campus freshman experience. We're practicing a lot of patience. We're managing uncertainty or creating on purpose our own certainty. If you're listening to this well after it's released, this is August 2020, and it feels like all of us parents know that no matter how the school year starts, the middle and the end of the year will probably look quite different. My oldest is a senior, you guys. It's going to be a much different senior year than he or I anticipated. And it's okay though. We can do this. It might be good. It might be also a little awful. It might be frustrating. It might be surprisingly positive. We're going to be open to it all and accept it all. We're expecting this year to be all over the spectrum. It doesn't have to be just these polar opposites. Now, every Sunday, I send out a Sunday Sunshine email. So make sure you are getting them. You can sign up on my website, HeidiBenjaminson.com. Several weeks ago, I received a few requests for a podcast episode on the topic and quote of the email. So this episode is the response to that. And I was thrilled because this is a topic that goes through my mind a lot. A fellow life coach friend of mine, Laura Dry, told me that she keeps this quote over her desk, and it resonated so much with me that I also have it by my desk. And it's become a thought that guides me throughout my day and throughout my business. The quote or the thought is, "It will be as easy or as hard as I make it." Now, originally, the intent of the quote was to help inspire us to do more in our business and figure things out that were seemingly too big or too hard, and to notice how our heads were making goals or projects much harder than they needed to be. Because y'all know we find what we're looking for, always. And in some situations, there are a lot of benefits for looking for and finding easier ways. Now, as much as anyone else, I love the quote, "I can do hard things." I've done a lot of hard things in my life. I admire people who can handle hard things. Of course, remembering that hard is subjective, and something hard for me might not be hard for someone else, and vice versa. We learn from doing the hard. We learn we're tougher than we think. One quote hard thing that I have done is serve an 18-month mission for my church in Portugal, including 9 months in the Azores and on the Madeira Island. I learned how to speak Portuguese. I conducted life in this language. I twice renegotiated places for us missionaries to live in those cities, performed a lot of service, maintained a lifestyle schedule that wasn't quite what other 21-year-olds really were doing and wanted. It required discipline. I was waking up at 6:30 every day. It was hard, and I learned a lot. So we don't want to avoid hard challenges or goals in our life. Hard is often where the growth and the refining appears. Our comfort zones increase by feeling the discomfort of hard. So don't think the message here is not to do the hard. Instead, I want to explore the ways we create more hard in our lives that does not benefit us and even has a cost for ourselves and those around us. Often, if we just stop, open our mind to other options, solutions, and like trails to climb up the mountain we're going up, we will find ways to create the same result we want, reach our goals, get to the top, and also have remaining energy to enjoy and help our families, our friends. Often, finding the easier route benefits us simply because we can achieve the same goals, but with much less stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. And the best way to explain this is through lots of examples, and I hope some of these trigger your own reflection and awareness. Here are 2 practical ways we can choose easier ways and still achieve the same results. Decades ago, we had to wash our clothes using our hands. Centuries ago, people had to go down to rivers and rocks and so forth. Our goal is to have clean clothes. It's possible we appreciate our clean clothes more if we wash them by hand, but the goal simply is to have clean clothes. Now, today in most developed countries, we have access to washing machines and dryers, which can do the work for us. And in the hours where the machine is doing the work, we can then do other things. We literally wash our clothes the easy way with modern machines, allowing us to have time and energy to dedicate to other parts of our lives. I just taught my teenage sons how to deposit their paychecks using the bank app on their phones. Now, before I learned how to do this very easy task, I had to take time to drive to the bank to do a deposit. Now, because I value my time greatly, I'm glad the banks and I have found a way to achieve the same exact goal, getting the money from one account to the other in an easier way. I wouldn't be gaining anything or learning extra skills by driving to the bank and depositing via ATM or in person. So it's a net benefit. So think about this in your daily life. The things that take up a lot of time, are you doing these the easy or the hard way? Then ask, is there a cost to other people that I insist on choosing the hard way? Who benefits? Or what am I learning by choosing hard? Is there an easier way where everyone benefits and I achieve the same results? Because we still want the benefit of growth from overcoming obstacles. It's just that by using the energy of the world and the natural winds, they can carry us faster to our goal. I live on the East Coast. A direct flight to the West Coast is roughly 5 to 6 hours. But when flying from the West Coast to the East Coast, it's roughly 4 to 5 hours because the jet stream is behind us. It's pushing us faster toward the exact same goal. We gain an hour to be with our family or friends or relax because planes can use the energy of the jet stream. That wind and benefit happens naturally to us. Often, though, we block the jet streams in other parts of our life because we aren't looking for them. Or we create an optional belief that using these jet streams means we're cheating or we're not willing to do the hard. But is that true? I really want you to question why you're often choosing the hard. Do you want other people to see you as someone who does hard things? Are you doing it for external validation, but in reality, there's an internal cost? Or a cost to people near you who don't get your attention and your personal energy? Years ago, I realized I was making Christmas Day harder for myself than it needed to be. I wanted a big family breakfast. I wanted to serve family and host a wonderful day for family that I love dearly. But y'all, I was making it harder for myself than it needed to be. And I was the one who suffered because I was exhausted and I was not fun to be around by the second half of the day. I sat and asked what my real priorities of the day were. They were to be with my family and still have the memories and experiences of the meal and time together. I adopted a few new, quote, traditions of buying many parts of the meals. This started saving me a lot of time, and there was no cost to anyone else by me choosing the easier route. I wasn't giving up learning or growing, but I gained hours to enjoy and relax, which was the goal. These exact choices may not be the easy routes that you want to make, but be aware of the thought process and identify your why. Often people set goals to get healthy, lose weight, or so forth, but then continue to have unhealthy food in the house or are constantly in situations where they aren't surrounded by choices or people with similar goals. They constantly fly against the jet stream. Instead, you can still achieve the same goals, the same results, by stocking the house with only foods you want to eat, going to restaurants or friends' homes where there will be options that you want. Often, if my kids want treats or such, I buy things that I know I don't want or I don't like, just to stack the cards in favor of my success. I know the easy way to staying healthy is exercising in the morning, so it's done. I do it when I have little mental resistance because I just do it. I don't have other distractions. The same idea applies to anyone who doesn't want to drink alcohol or anything else, especially if this is hard to say no to. Don't put yourself in situations where you constantly have to say no. Make it easy to succeed where possible. And many of these examples are practical in nature, and most of life is fairly practical and mundane. But on a bigger level, I have a mentor who got pregnant in high school and then raised her baby and toddler while she was going to college. She always says, "I did it the hard way. I got to my goal, but I wouldn't recommend that path and all the obstacles along the way." She loves her daughter dearly, but sees how she can never have those years of self-development or self-improvement back. Now, it's a pretty universally held belief or practice that most people start families after college or such, but there really is no right or wrong way to do it. There just are so many ways where we can step back and really look at our options, find other solutions, and use our energy to create the life we want. Always questioning ourselves, why am I choosing this? Or if we feel circumstances are happening beyond our control, seeking for the easiest way to move the boulder. Is my why that other people expect this of me? Or was I taught something that now doesn't fit with what I want? Really find your why and then question if you still believe it. For example, I live in New England. We have snowy winters. Most people own snowblowers. There's an initial cost to the machine. They are expensive, just like washing machines are many hundreds of dollars. But the cost to us not having the machine is our time, our energy. For some who are older with health issues, it can be dangerous to get out shoveling snow. Yes, it's exercise, so if you get out shoveling for exercise, that's great. But if the goal is to remove the snow, the easy way is to use a snow blower or hire a plow. Where are you still shoveling really big driveways in life with small shovels? Often we don't want to ask for help or don't want to accept help. Why is that? Often if someone offers help, they genuinely want to help us, and it will give us back time or another resource. We usually don't accept help because of pride or a sense that we should be able to do it alone. The cost in these situations is we lose an opportunity to connect with that person. We lose an opportunity to practice humility. We lose an opportunity to let another person use their gifts and talents, which aren't usually our gifts and talents, to bless us. Y'all, we're here on earth to connect with each other and help each other with our gifts. It's possible we can see and accept an easier way to a goal if we accept help and say yes to friends, family, neighbors who want to help us. And along the way, we drop some pride and we create humility and human connection. Many months ago, my father-in-law passed away suddenly. Many people offered to help, and with his 5 children, one being my husband, planning the funeral, there really wasn't a lot that I was even doing. I really tried to find things for people to do when they were asking for help. I consciously wanted to let people help. I wanted to build connections. And as the funeral got closer, I realized one task that I had was flower arrangements for the tables at an after-service meal. So I asked a friend to help arrange them if I bought them and got them to her. She so graciously and generously insisted on buying them, arranging them, delivering them to the church, and she refused my offer to reimburse her. She wanted to help me. She knows I would help her in any way. The easy way for me was to accept this kind gesture. It reinforced our decades-long friendship, and this is important, by accepting her help, I had more energy to spend with my family who was coming into town and energy to be mentally present with the guests. Do you see areas in your life where you're choosing hard on purpose because you want honor or validation from other people? I saw this occasionally when my kids were babies and toddlers and my peers were in the same boat. My husband and I called it the martyr mommy syndrome. Women wanting other women to see them as having so many kids and having so many things to balance and just so much going on. They were balancing a lot, yes, but they were driven by a need for their life to be perceived as hard, and that their hardness gave them honor and value, and that anyone choosing easy deserved less honor or accolades or such. It was interesting to watch and see swirling in friendship waters near me, and to then recognize where I do that in my life. Yes, I'm very capable of doing the hard if it's required, and I want to learn and grow from the experience. But am I putting on airs that something is hard because I think hard equals more value or more worth as a person? Do I say no to help because I really don't need help, or because I want people to think I'm strong? And is there a cost to me and my family or anyone that cancels out this benefit? It's such a delicate balance. We all have to respect decisions other people make. And it's pretty petty of me to have called people martyr mommies. I really don't know what was driving their desires and their actions. I think it puts wind in some people's sails to desire to be seen a certain way. So I'm not at all advocating that we judge when another person chooses easy or hard. Not at all. In fact, we all have to recognize and be aware we have no idea what is easy or hard for anyone else. And we don't know what is going on in their lane. We have to focus solely on our lane, our choices, the benefits and costs of choosing the easy or the hard for us and our families. I'm teaching my second son to drive. My car is a big SUV. Sometimes when parking, it's easier to pull into a spot and pull through. So when we leave, he can just go forward, not reversing in a big car in a crowded parking lot. Sometimes. Knowing how to reverse is a great skill, and he's learning it. But it's also a great skill to know when it benefits us to pull through and not risk running into another car or another life, metaphorically, backing out when we had other choices. Are the friends you surround yourself with making it easier or hard for you to reach your goals? Be the person you want to be. Do you like their energy? Or do you have to decompress after interaction so you can regain your energy? Choose friends wisely. Some make life hard. Some make life easy. Absolutely serve others and help people in need, but have wisdom to choose to be around people going in the same direction you are. Just like the jet stream in a plane, these friends, peers, they're going to share their energy and get us to our goals faster, or we'll have currents that we have to fight against, using up energy that we could use in other parts of our life. Does the media you consume make it easy or hard to have the perspective and attitude you want to have throughout the day? Remember, everything we see and hear is then a sentence in our mind. It's food we're feeding ourselves, and we then have to decide what we're going to do with it, and that takes up energy. Okay, so I've given you lots of examples. Again, it isn't that we aren't going to need to do hard things in life. In fact, often we have to manage our anxieties and mindset to push us to do hard things. But what if instead we challenge ourselves to find solutions possibly not visible that can be a smarter way to accomplish our goals? And always be aware of your why. Why are you going back to school with young kids and a full-time job? Why do you want to hike Mount Kilimanjaro? Why do you want to hand make every centerpiece at the bridal shower? What is the goal? And would I and those around me benefit from me investigating easier and less time-consuming solutions? What's the cost to those around me or myself for me insisting on the hard? Am I trying to prove something to myself, or am I seeking validation and status from others? Why is that? And lastly, what do I make it mean about myself that I can do hard? What do I make it mean about myself when I intentionally choose the easier route to reach the same goal? Okay, really good stuff here, friends. This is where we come up to the mirror of who we are and we uncover beliefs fueling how we feel and act in the world. I do this every day with my brave clients. It is so empowering to realize we can use our brains to create what we really desire in life. When you're ready to develop a deeper sense of confidence, sign up for a free consult call on HeidiBenjaminson.com. Do it now and model this for your children. Learn to manage your emotions now. Let them see you learning and growing just as you are. You've always hired coaches for them. Now it's time for you to have a coach, and I'd be honored to be yours. Have a great week.